How's it going, everyone? Runt9 here, and welcome back to another episode of Runt9 Plays City Skylines. We're in the city of Pyradian, episode number 12, and I think that this is finally the episode that we're going to get to see our tourist island take shape. Now, I don't know how far we're going to get on it today, because there's obviously quite a few things to do to it. We need to run a highway out there, which means we're going to convert a three-way interchange into a four-way interchange. We've got to run some sort of public transit out there, which will probably be a commuter train just because it can hold a lot of passengers. We need to zone off the district and build the internal roads, and yeah, there's just a lot to do. But what I will say is I'm excited about it. I did a couple of things off camera. I built in some roads here just to make things look a little bit more even. Actually, I want to go in and fix this up to be a bit straighter across. That's fine. Just to make this feel a little bit less empty, I zoned it with commercial, which means it's not going to fill in right now because there's a million places on the map where commercial can be filled in. But I feel okay about that. I bumped up the number of trains on our different lines because we were running into some issues where mostly this station is just completely covered with people and there just flat out isn't enough, ability for trains to get in and out of here for the amount of people that want to ride the train. In fact, I bet if I go and take a look at this yet again, there's just a ton of people there. Oh, looks like we've got a deadlock somewhere. We've got a bugged train, but not a deadlock, which is fun. So, yeah, I did a couple of things, not too much. We'll let that train unbug itself. I also added in hot air balloon tours just because I knew that people might want to see our park from the air. I don't know. Just because I thought it would be a fun thing to throw in. We're seeing the service road get some usage. We're seeing the suburbs get built out a little bit. Here and there, little things are happening. Our industry area seems to be good. Traffic is flowing through it, no problem whatsoever. Traffic flow is still at a solid 93%. Our metro lines appear to be doing okay. They're obviously carrying a ton of passengers. Ebbs and flows. So let's start on our tourist island. So the very first thing that I'm going to do, before I forget about it, is I'm going to go ahead and do the district for this. And this is going to be 100% tourism, commercial buildings and stuff. It might not be a bad idea to throw in some high density residential and some offices as well, just to mix things up a little bit, but it's going to be tourism specialization for sure. Offices, no office specialization, no residential specialization, that's all fine. Policy-wise, see if there's anything that we care about. High ticket prices we could probably do, but again, I don't think it matters too much. I don't think that any of these are going to be necessary. Nope, no policies I want to turn on. So I think that we're going to have one main loop around the island and then one main road through the island that is our highway nestled into the ground a little bit. And so basically, I think that we're going to take a 4-lane. I also think trams would be good to run in a loop around the island. So we'll grab the 4-lane with tram. And again, I need to zoom out and check things every so often, make sure nothing's exploding or something that I need to seriously worry about. But it seems like things are going to be okay. So let's start with our freeform tool and go right up along the beach. And that's causing a bit too much of a cliff there. So maybe we'll bring it in just a little bit. Is there any of that we want to do? I don't think so. It should be fine. We'll bring it in just a little bit. I realize it's going to cause a bit of a cliff, but I don't care too terribly much. It does make sense for it to have some sort of a seawall. This one might be a bit much, but again, I'm not too terribly concerned about it. I would prefer for it to be a bit less sharp of a curve here. Yeah, that looks much better. So that gives us a nice little tram loop. We need the tram building somewhere. I think the tram depot on this corner would be ideal, just because we have this extra space. Now, granted, that cliff is awful, but there's unfortunately not much we can do about that. We will run power out here in a minute. Let's also go ahead and water this, which I think that I'm going to just do kind of the same thing I did in the suburbs, where I just run a simple grid like this and then connect up the individual lines. I don't mind doing this part on camera, just because I don't think it's going to take too terribly long, and it's exciting. We're building our tourist island. There are going to be a bunch of people that want to come out here to see it. We'll have to figure out where things like International Airport and all that stuff go in the future. Maybe it'll go like up here on this beachhead with a quick little, I said beachhead, up here on this little beach area with a way for people to get down into the Sunset District, which I think is an awesome name. Now, what I was talking about with the highway being pushed into the ground a little bit, my thought is I do want to have individual 2-lane highway roads, but we'll have to go as far as we can go without actually creating a tunnel. And I want this to be virtually a straight shot through the city. I don't have the parallel road tool anymore, so we'll probably just do a quick copy paste with move it. But I think this is going to be pretty much what I'm talking about. And so that should be nestled into the ground enough. Again, I'm going to have to go through and delete rocks. We'll do that in a minute. First things first, let's select all of the nodes and segments here. Oops. It helps if you press shift while you're dragging to select, so that you are purely adding to the selection. And then we'll do a quick copy and pasta right on this side, I would say. That looks good. This gives us a barrier in the middle, which may be okay. Let's see how we feel about scooching the highway close enough to have a median, but a median that is less raised up, I guess. So let's see how this looks as we go through. The rocks are clearing as I go down the highway, which is kind of interesting. What we do need to find out is if we need to lower the road any more for this to work. And we are going to have to go over the tram road at the end in order to connect back up to the highway on this 4-way interchange. Down here, I think that we're just going to have the highway end in the simplest way that it possibly can. Also, let's reverse the direction on this bad boy. Perfect. I think that the easiest way to do this is going to be to just run a single lane up to, sorry, was hitting the wrong keys on my keyboard. And we'll obviously want to remove traffic lights. That gets people on and off the highway there. And now the real question is, do I need to lower things more, or are we able to draw a road at 0 meter height bridged over the highway? And it does not look like we can. We would have to go up. Nope, still not quite able to make it. Interesting. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into move it. We're going to select everything. And this is going to look really cool when we have it finished up. And we're just going to lower it further down, and the game is going to lag quite a bit while I do this. Okay, that may be enough. We'll ignore that error. I'm sure it's perfectly fine. That may be too low in the ground. It may look a little bit bad, but I'm okay with it. Realistically, if we had the right mods for it, we would go in and fill that space in with concrete. But now we can draw bridges over the top of the highway, which is exactly what I wanted. The trees in the middle have to go. We'll have to clean that up off camera. This needs to be a smoother slope, so let's grab these two nodes and raise these up, smooth that slope out a bit more. I'm good with that. That looks good. Now over here, it's curving this way, which makes it a bit interesting for how it's going to curve back around onto this highway. But I'm a creative person. I'm sure I can figure it out. Also, that's a lie. I'm not a creative person, but if you think that about me, I appreciate it. So we're going to want these to be already really going up in the air, to be honest. Let's get that at that level probably, and I think this is the point where I delete those, grab our 2-lane highway, and start trying to build at 10 meters. 10 meters up, 10 meters down, which totally just reminded me of Hot Ones with the 10 chicken wings up, 10 chicken wings down. If you haven't seen it, it's an interview show where celebrities eat super spicy wings and get interviewed by Sean Evans, and it's pretty fantastic. I highly recommend it if you're interested in celebrity interview shows in the slightest, which I am not. Don't get me wrong. I kind of don't care for it at all, but it was incredibly entertaining to watch. I actually want to see if maybe I can start curving these out a little bit. Give me some curvature, please. Okay, well, Apparently Move It has decided that's not allowed, and that's perfectly okay with me. We will do one large curve that comes back around and over. You know, actually, I disagree with that. I highly disagree with what I just said. I want it to start curving now. Yes, that is absolutely what I would like to see. Almost made it. There we go. I like that a lot better. Because now we'll take this out on a straight line. 180 degrees. I know I could turn angle snapping back on, but, you know, don't judge me. We're going to need to curve it all the way around like that. So I want this curve to be bigger. So we'll go out to that point and curve it. No, not quite that much. All right, you know what? I'm messing with this more than I probably should. Maybe this type of curve is just fine. And I don't think I hate that. So now coming in from the beach, now obviously that looks horrendous, and I will use Move It to straighten that out a little bit. And honestly, I really like the way that that turned out, and I would greatly prefer to make this curve look about the same. So let's attempt that, shall we? Nope, not quite. We do need to get up to 10 meters. So first, let's continue this up to height of 10 meters. About right there, and then grab the curve tool. And that's not quite curved enough for my taste. Now maybe that'll work. Okay. I am definitely not making this look particularly pretty, but that just smoothed that curve out a bit. This one will be a little bit harsher of a curve, but I'm okay with that. Now the question is, do I want to do a service road? And I think the answer is yes. In fact, I'm almost positive the answer is yes. We'll have to come back to that. We obviously don't need a service road while we're going over the ocean, but we do want a service road on the island. So we'll have to figure that part out later on in the episode. Now it's time for the interchange. And again, I like to build my own interchanges every time. I don't like using the built-in interchanges. And I have a strong preference for stack interchanges. Cloverleafs are bad. If you want to know why cloverleafs are bad, then you should definitely check out my video on why weaving is bad. And I think that at this point, it's going to be best to go ahead and raise this highway up down here, to be completely honest. Well, realistically, this highway is already raised most of the way, so maybe this is the highway that should be raised up. Let's just delete all of this. And we will have this highway be at this height, 3 lanes, 20 meters is good because that means we can do part of the interchange under this and part of the interchange over it. So we're going to want to curve slightly and then come down. And we'll do the same thing here. Curve slightly. I think this is a little bit worse of a curve, but yeah, it kind of looks a little bad the way it snakes in there. Let's just go with that. That's fine. I like the way this one curves a little better, but details will be details. Up and over. Now we need to bring this highway in on the ground level. And the easiest way for me to do this usually is to just go ahead and carry this whole highway out underneath the other highway and then figure out the interchanges after the fact. Going from about right there. All right, so there is obviously a pillar there. Let's just delete that. And we will make it work. Because the goal is to have unimpeded flow each direction. And it may not necessarily make sense what I mean by that. So I will definitely show you what I mean by that shortly. I do not want this to be a bridge model. No, not 4-lane, 3-lane, please. I'm a little bit frustrated at the fact that it's doing that, so let's lower that down. Can I make that not be a bridge? I hate that that's a bridge model. Why is it doing that? Why is it seriously at such an incredible height? Use move it to make that go down more. Use move it to make that go down more. I mean, I don't understand why the game is doing this to me. And then we'll use move it to raise both of these back up to an even level. And this one for that matter. Now, hopefully it doesn't do the same thing over here, but we'll find out the hard way, more than likely. I would greatly prefer that you stop that game. That would be a strong preference of mine. And then we will move it to shore that up a little bit. Okay, perfect. Now we can do a stack interchange. And if you don't know what a stack interchange is, you're about to find out. It's very common in Texas. In fact, I would say that Texas has a hard time doing anything other than stack interchanges. And this video will certainly end up running a little bit long because I'm going to at least get through the stack interchange part in this video. That seems okay. I do want this to be a 3-lane highway probably, but so this is an external connection. So yeah, this needs to be a 3-lane highway until it actually gets, I mean, realistically, until it gets to the water. So that's actually okay. I'm fine with that. So let's do a stack interchange. Also, I haven't saved in a while. I should probably do that. It's been a bit too long. I recorded a few straight episodes without saving, and that's kind of bad. So, how do you do a stack interchange? Well, it's actually quite simple. So, we're going to start with, let's see, probably about here. That should be fine. And we're going to want to bring this up to half height, which should be 10. Maybe we can do this a little closer. Bring it up to a height of 10 at the smoothest slope we can. And we're going to do a single lane that goes off like that. And we're going to do a single lane that goes under. Really, it needs to cut right through here to be correct. Can you not frustrate me, game? And we'll come up at a slope about like that. That should be fine. And let's do this direction. 2-lane. Now this is not going to be a picture perfect stack interchange. I hope you are aware of this fact. Because I am freehanding everything, it may end up looking a little bit like garbage, and that's perfectly okay. This needs to connect to this one. So we're actually going to want to bring this around a little bit more. Before we take it up onto the highway, we're going to bring that on like so. You must merge down before you enter the highway. And this one can probably, this is going to be also too far. Or too close, I should say. Grab, move it, fix this. That doesn't look particularly brilliant. I'm not a fan of this at all. I think it looked better before I started messing with it. So we need the other one to potentially cut through here. So let's see if that's going to be possible. Probably not. I don't think we're going to have enough room to get a height that we need, because we need to get up to a height of 20. So we'll do this a little bit sooner. Bring it down to about right there. Now again, I realize this may end up being legitimately the worst stack interchange you've ever seen, and I fully admit that I don't expect it to be particularly beautiful. But I do expect it to be particularly functional. So I don't think we're going to be able to clear that. Yeah, it does not appear as such. So the right answer in this case is going to be to take it down. Okay, we need to go down further than that. Or no, we don't have to go down further. We just have to extend it underneath like that. Okay, now we have to go back up to a height of 10. Height of 10 is not enough there because of the way that life exists. We're going to need to go to probably about 15 to clear this. Which is fine because we need that in order to clear that part. Again, I realize this is kind of horrendous. If you're looking for pretty interchanges, I'm not your guy. If you're looking for functional interchanges, I got you covered. We will upgrade this and that, and then you must merge on this horrendous. Oh my gosh, this game is not particularly happy with me at the moment. Let's do that so it's a bit smoother to get everything figured out. Now we just need to do the other two directions and we'll be good to go. So again, we have this one is going to go up and over, so we'll come out like so. We have one lane that we're going to want to do this a bit further out. Basically make that ramp as long as possible. No, not that. I'm going to go move it, try to smooth that out. And then we're going to need to take this one up and over. So we'll go up to a height of 45. Should be good. Getting the posts in the pillars in the right spot is a little tricky at times. So we're already curving in the right direction. That looks good, and we will try to move this around a little bit, but it's not snapping properly for us. Don't know if I can make this suck less. That looks better if we fix this part. Okay, I hate that less. That seems okay. that also is kind of insane, but details, always with the details. So for here, we're going to come out like so, grab this one, come around like so, and have this work its way downwards, and then have this connect on like so. Upgrade, upgrade. Give them a little bit of time before they have to merge down onto one lane. And then this one, are we going to need to do a 5 stack because of the way that I built this? You know, I think the answer would be no if I took this one down. It needs to be at this height and then can dive under here. Now there's a method to building stack interchanges correctly that I'm completely screwing up here, and I'm also completely aware of this fact. This one does not look like there's anywhere that we can bring it down. So yeah, I'm going to redo this one. Immediately start dropping the height. Well, we're going to need a good bit of height to clear this mess here. We can probably start descending. How far can we descend here? We need to descend more than that if we can. Okay, 13 should be enough to get us underneath, and it is. And then it just hooks up like so. Use move it to straighten that out. This looks pretty terrible, not gonna lie. That curves much smoother now. So you come down underneath the highway and up onto this on-ramp. And that means that this one, we can keep it as only a quad stack and not as a 5 stack. Can now be the big one to go up to, 40 height or something ridiculous, and go up and over, which I do think we need even more height in order to clear this. It looks like the answer to that is absolutely we do. So let's go up to a height of 45. And now we can grab the straight tool and start descending. Absolutely. And this can hook in down here. We'll want to straighten this out. Both of those connect on. Probably will want to give them a little bit of merging room. That looks terrible. So for the sake of my own sanity, I will let both of those lanes merge onto the highway. We'll do the lane management stuff in just a moment. So this is definitely not what a stack interchange usually looks like. I realize this is kind of like crappy budget stack interchange spaghetti mess. I'm also completely aware of that fact. But it also will work perfectly fine for what we're trying to do here. It's only a quad stack, and so the difference between a quad stack and a Cinco stack, a 4 and a 5 stack is how many different levels there are. So you've got this base highway, which is level 1. You've got these smaller on and off ramps underneath. That's your level 2. Level 3 is this highway here, and level 4 is this one right here. Now, there is a method to doing this properly, and I realize that. Again, I kind of like the freehand thing because then not every interchange looks the same. And I honestly kind of like that. So let's grab the 4-lane and do our management like we usually would. This lane comes on here. This one is also that way. Nope, not there. There and there. This one has 2 lanes coming on, so we will grab the 5-lane, break it down to a 4-lane here, and we'll actually just carry all 4 lanes, which already is done for us. Perfect. So we'll want to add 4 lanes basically all the way from that interchange to the point where we want a 5th lane added here. Down here, we're going to want to do the same thing. 4 lanes leading up, 5 lanes at the exit. Same thing up here, 5 lanes here and here, 4 lanes here and here, 5 lanes, space already occupied. We will obviously need to fix that. 4 lanes here and here, and then move. Basically, these nodes all need to be pulled down a little bit there. This segment needs to also be 4 lanes because, again, we have an on-ramp. 5-lane, 5-lane. We got 2 lanes exiting. That looks hunky-dory, so there is a stack interchange. I promise that it's a stack interchange. It's just not any stack interchange you've ever seen before. We've got the highway that runs down onto our island and then just kind of dead ends down here, which is basically what I wanted. We've got some tram road going around the outside of this, so we'll have a nice little tram tour of the city. We'll be able to run roads all along the interior, and we'll probably want to do a service road, although I may not go that route, depending upon what's our zoning look like. If I were to take, yeah, a service road will be fine. I guess I just am not quite really grasping the scope of how large this island really is. But at this point, it's been 45 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the episode here. So I want to just say thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like or a comment. It helps out a lot. Also subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Join the community Discord to connect with me directly. And if you'd like to donate to my channel, there's a Patreon link in the description. Otherwise, I hope you really enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.